Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Arise and Build. Here with your girl, Yakinea Marie. Ooh, this is going to be a good topic today. Today, we're going to talk on the subject when life breaks you. Now, you know, we all have experienced life situations. When life breaks you, but you still win, you rise from the ashes. I have the perfect young lady to talk about this subject on today. So I want to bring to the stage my girl, my sis, TJ Everhart. Girl, listen, I was about to say Tijuana, TJ Tijuana. How you doing, sis? How you doing?
I am fabulous. How are you doing? Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for being my guest. I'm excited to have you on. I'm excited about your testimony. I'm excited about how you show up in the world in such a big, big way. And it's so inspiring. You have your own podcast as well. So tell us who you are, what you do, and tell us the name of your podcast.
So, hello, everybody. And again, I am so excited to be here, girl. Anytime I can talk about when life wasn't fair, but that I can win anyway. So that's the name of the podcast. So my podcast is Life Ain't Fair, Win Anyway. Stories of people like myself and others who've gone through some things and come out on the other side a winner. And if we can do it, you can do it too. And so that's me. That's Tijuana Everhart. I own TJ Everhart Consulting. We build unstoppable people, leaders, and organizations through training and risk management and culture increasing. And yeah, that's just me. I'm also the leadership development manager at Faith Chapel. So yeah, girl, that's my life. That's
my life. I love it. Well, let's dive right on into it. So I love that your podcast was inspired by your journey.
Yeah, for sure.
It's just a small chapter in your book because you have written many chapters since then with your life through decisions. Let's start off by talking about this because I know you talked about first of all, let's talk about your life. You understand? Because we can say your story, but people don't know what your story is. So I would love to know the season of your life when you were broken. Let's start off with that. The season of your life when you were broken.
So it's been a couple of seasons, but I'll say I kind of let me set it up like this.
Okay.
In my story and in the book that I have written, Life Ain't Fair, Win Anyway, I talk about a time when I learned how to swim. I used to play around with the guys in the neighborhood like they didn't think I was cute, right? They just thought I was a little sis. They be talking about me now. They be like, girl, you turned out to look all right. But, back then they just saw me as little sis, right? And so I used to play out with them. I would play football, girl. They would karate chop me, all that kind of stuff. And they knew how to swim. So we had a swimming pool in our community. I grew up in Titusville, right outside of Lubman Village in the apartments called Montevallo Gardens. So although we were right outside of Lubman Village, it was nothing but a fence that stopped us from being in the projects, right? So, but we had a community pool. And girl, my friends, they knew how to swim. They would swim. I would go. I didn't know how to swim. So they would go and I would stand on the edge of the pool and watch them swim. I would put my feet in the water, but I didn't know how to swim. Well, one particular day, as I was standing on the edge of the pool, I felt two hands come behind me and jolt me into the swimming pool, into the deep end of the water. And in that moment of life, you have to decide whether you're going to sink or whether you're going to swim.
Come on.
And so in that, I learned how to swim.
Wow.
When I think about it, girl, people drown not because they can't swim. They drown because they panic. They drown because they fight. Such is life. So I've had moments where I was absolutely two hands in my back, pushed into this thing called life when I wasn't prepared for it and when it took me down through there. So I grew up in a home of domestic violence. My father was very abusive to my mother, but my father, I was such a daddy's girl. Like anywhere my daddy went, I wanted to go. But my dad was very abusive. Now, our home, there were times where it would be fun. You could hear music. I have a love for music now because of my dad. Earth, Wind, and Fire, girl, everything. I was, look, I was little and I used to be singing, get you, yeah, yeah, da, da. They had me on, girl, they used to have me on display. And so it was always music. So where there was a lot of joy, there was far more pain. And so my father, although people would be there during the day, my parents played cards. I can run a card table to this day
Mm,
because of that. Um, it would be fun in the day and terror at night.
mm,
And so my dad was abusive. I can remember a time my dad put a gun to my sister's head to keep my mother home. My dad would spit on my mom. I can tell you all the names he would call her, kick her, all of these things. And so the one push, the first push, because I've had many, the first push, my mother was leaving my father and I wanted to stay. Daddy's girl, I wanted to stay. So my mother left and she was taking my sister and she took my sister and I decided to stay with my dad. Well, in my dad's anger that my mother had left him again,
mm,
he looks at me and he says to me, you know I'm not your daddy. Your mama effed another N word while I was gone and got you and got pregnant with you.
mm,
So that right there shifted everything in me because now I understand you are beating her because you have to keep looking at me. That
mm,
every time you look at me, I remind you of what she did.
mm,
And I carried that as a child.
mm.
Um, it was bad, like I used to think of ways to harm my dad. I remember one time, girl, I thought I'm gonna put this poison together and just girl, I really did. Because it was like it was nonstop. My sister and I were home one day when my dad shot my mom
Mm,
and would not allow us to call the police, would not let us call any get any help. So it was just, but it was the fact that I knew if she had not have had me, she
mm.
would not be going through what she went through. Why didn't she just give me away? I used to think about that.
Now, question: was that a reality though? Was that true? What he said? What or did because in your mind you thought that he was beating your mother because of you, but you didn't. You never heard anyone say that.
Right.
But the pain caused you to just kind of correlate the two together.
My dad lived in anger
Yeah.
with what my mother did. I recognized as I got older, he didn't have the tools he needed to get
Yes.
past the
Yes.
anger and the hurt.
Yes.
So it was a constant reminder,
Yes.
right? So I never was told by him. Every time I look at you, I think about what your mom did. But I knew that it was just he did not know how to handle it. He
Yes.
never. I thought about my dad went to Vietnam. Girl, those men came back from Vietnam all messed up,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and they didn't have the tools that they needed. Didn't have the counseling, all of those things. So no, it was never said to me,
Yes.
but I knew he's still angry. He doesn't know how to deal with
Yeah.
what happened.
Yeah, because see, when I first heard you say what he said, my first thought was that's not even true, about your mother. But I wasn't there, so I don't know. So I didn't know if he was just saying that just to be spiteful, or if it was actually true. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
needless to say, it still was traumatizing because, like you said, he didn't have the tools. Whether it was true or not, he could have managed it much better had he had the tools.
Yeah.
But he did not
So
have the tools.
the statement was true.
Okay.
My mother had gotten girl, beautiful child. Let me say this,
I
girl.
listen. I got a dynamic in my family that let me just say this like this. My mother God rest her soul. She passed away in 2008. She, my oldest brother and myself thought we had the same father
Mm,
until I was almost 40 years old. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what we was led to believe. You
right.
know what I'm saying? So I know different dynamics in families, girl. Listen, you ain't even got to
Yeah.
explain that part.
So yeah, so my mother was 17 when she got married. My mother was
Okay.
17. My
Oh, she
dad
was
was,
young.
oh yeah, 20. We talking about teenagers and
Yeah.
early 20, you know. She was 17 when she got married. She was 18 when she got pregnant by with me. My dad would have been what, 21 years old, off into the military. My mom meet this dude, child, and the blessing
And the blessing.
was created.
Okay. Amen.
And the blessing
The
was
blessing. I
created.
know that's right.
Didn't see it as a blessing. Um, so it goes back to when you asked me, I now feel like if she hadn't have kept me,
It makes sense.
if she would have just given me away, he would not have to look at me as a reminder. It wouldn't have made a difference
It
though.
wouldn't have made a difference
It
at
wouldn't
all.
have made a difference whether she had given me away or not. But I carried that. That's a heavy weight.
Yeah.
So my birthdays became sad days. Like I would literally have panic attacks when my birthday would come up. It was nothing to celebrate. I wasn't, it wasn't like, yay, she's here. You know, if anything, it was like, yay, you know, that was, now, no one said this. And that's the thing, right? It was what I internalized
Yes. Yes.
as this child.
Yes. But you
It
was
was
a
what I
child. Yeah.
it was what I internalized. So that built my life.
Yeah.
And so I went through, girl, go out. My coping mechanism was to be away from the home.
Mm.
Every time I could, I'm gone. Every time I can get out of the house, if it's go to a friend's house, go over to somebody else's house. I never wanted to be home because it was just so chaotic.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now when I look back at it, I don't never want to leave home. Like it's my home is my favorite place to be because it's so peaceful and totally different than how I grew up.
Well, let's talk about that because the title of this is When Life Breaks You, But You Still Win.
Yeah.
So you created a winning, peaceful atmosphere. But that
Mhm.
didn't just happen overnight.
Mm-mm.
So, what was the moment for you when you start doing the work so that you can get to a healed you?
Mhm. So I have to take you back to August of 1991. I am 19 years old. I had gone off to college, Jacksonville State, and I had to come back home because my father stopped paying my tuition.
Mm.
So I had to come back, work full time, go to school full time. Well, on this particular day, I remember leaving the house and my mother was at home where she would have normally been at work. But there would be times when my dad would not allow her to go to work. And so that was one of those days. And I could look on his face. He would have a countenance when he was really angry, when I could tell that it's not going to be a good day. And when I say not going to be a good day, it's going to be an abusive day for my mom. I could look at him and tell. And so I left and went to work. When I came, no, while I was at work, I get a phone call from my aunt, and she tells me that I need to get to UAB hospital, that my mother had been rushed to the hospital. So girl, I worked at 6th Avenue Baptist Church, which was very close to UAB,
Yeah.
but my mind just couldn't process that. I drove over to my boyfriend's house, was not my husband, Chuck, and asked him to take me to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, they told me then that my mother had been burned, third-degree burns from her waist up, and that she had a 3% chance of living that night. She made it, but everything was burned off of her.
Mm.
Everything, no hair, no skin, no nothing. It was white. And so my mother lived from August to April the 9th. She lived 9 months in the hospital
Mm.
and had a cardiac arrest and died April the 9th. I had just turned 20, March the 10th. At 20 years old, when you ask me that question, what happened? How did I get through? All of my life, I've been in church.
Mm.
I got saved as a teenager. So it was in that moment where I remember after my mom passed, and now I have another weight that I'm carrying because my sister was 17. She needed to be seen about. My dad was having a very bad time with this. So he was suicidal. Um, I remember one time walking into my parents' house. My dad had a rope around his neck and he was standing on a chair and just, ah,
Oh my goodness, girl.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow.
He had a rope around his neck and I just so happened to come in and he was standing on the chair. So I remember when I got my first apartment. So I moved out, got my own apartment. I just literally remember holding my Bible up in the air and saying, Lord, if you don't help me, I ain't going to make it.
On.
And it was the time then that I remember all of that I know about Jesus. I've been in church all this time. I've been singing about him all this time.
Mhm.
But this time he's got to become real to me.
That's right.
Everything that I've been singing about, I've heard about, I need you to show up and be real. And
Yeah.
so it required me to dig down into
Yeah.
because you are all that I have.
That's
I
good.
don't have anything else. And
Hmm.
so that led me to getting to the winning side, along with some other things. But when you ask me what, that is the thing.
That
I
was
had nothing else.
that's good. That's good.
I don't have nothing else.
That's good.
I don't have nobody to call.
Mm.
Who gonna come and see about me?
Mm.
God, you are everything to me. You are all that I have.
Mm.
I'm 20 years old. I got to figure out how to work. I got to go to school. I got to do all this stuff. I don't have anything else. So it could have been desperation, but
Mm.
it was okay, it's time to get in the game now.
That's right.
Because, it was a sink or swim. What you going to do?
Mm. That's
What you
good.
gonna do? I could
Mm.
not think. I chose not to. I
Mm.
just chose the first thing was, baby, you gotta make up in your mind and stand flat foot that I don't care what's going on. I will not drown.
That's
Thinking is
good.
not my option.
Listen, listen. You need a book entitled Single Swim.
It's called Life Ain't Fair Win Anyway, and it's about sinking and swimming.
Oh,
That's
okay,
it.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
You gotta decide. When I got thrown into that water,
Mm.
I couldn't lay there and ponder. Oh, how am I going to get out of this? Why am I in this? What's going to happen? Oh, Lord, I'm in the water. You don't have time for that. First thing you got to set your mind on, I will not sink. And with everything in me, I'm going to get out of this. And that was my resolve. The first thing, my mindset, I cannot die. Mm-mm. I'd have been through too much. If I was going to die, I would have died when that car came through my bedroom when I was 5 years old. Oh, no, devil. Mm-mm. Girl, a car drove straight over me. That's why I asked you something about something break. Friend, I'm laying in the bed and I wake up to grass in my mouth and I hear my dad say, baby, wake up. I look up, there's a whole car over me, lifted over by. The only thing that wasn't covered by the car was my head. I have a scar right here as a reminder. So, devil, mm-mm.
Hold on for a second. Hold on. The devil been the devil been working to kill you a long time. If not physically, he been working to take your mind. What you say?
A whole car drove over me and pit me under the car. That the only girl, people don't even believe me when I always do that, two truths and a not so truth, two truths and a lie. And
Yeah.
when I always say a car drove over me and came through my bedroom window, people never think that that's the truth. It's the absolute truth.
Girl, listen. Because I didn't know all these stories.
I know. You
I
asked.
was like, what?
You asked, friend. You asked. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He been trying to come for me. because
Oh,
he didn't want me to get to where I am right now.
come on.
That if I survive these stories, I'm gonna show somebody else, baby. I know it's hard. I know you feel like you're gonna lose your mind. I know you think that you cannot, but I'm here to tell you, yes, you can. Yes, you
Yeah.
can. You will if you don't faint. Don't faint. You got
Mm.
to keep swimming. It takes every part. If you don't know how to swim, it takes every muscle in your body to stay afloat when you're swimming. Everything in you to keep swimming, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what you have to do with life. Like sometimes it's going to be so hard, but you got everything in you. Don't you stop.
yeah.
Take everything in you and keep going. So
You know,
that's it.
you saying that from your belly. Don't
I mean it too.
stop. I know you
Don't you?
do.
Because you'll drown.
Yes.
You
Ooh.
got to keep going. You got to fight. You have to fight for your freedom. You have to fight for your win.
Mhm.
It's a fight. I mean, who gets in a fight and think that they just gonna be like, ta-da, I'm the winner? It's a fight. Who? Mm, yeah. So that
Oh.
was that was the first thing. That was the very first thing. It was a resolve. First, the mindset of I will not drown. That's the first thing. The second thing was faith. I had to hunker in on what God says about me,
Mhm.
that He said He'll never leave me,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
even
Yeah.
when I was in there by myself, He's with me.
Mhm.
That if I went down below, He was gonna be with me. If I went up top, He was gonna be with
That's
me.
right.
And so it's the faith thing because it will look different than
Mhm.
what you're believing.
Yeah.
It looks bad. It
Yeah.
looks horrible.
Yeah.
It hurts. All of those things. But I just had to hold on to God. This is what you said, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to trust you. I have nothing else.
That's good.
I have nothing else.
That's
So
good.
that's the second thing. The third thing, I mean, girl, I can keep going because I figured
No,
out.
no, go ahead. You got time.
Oh, okay. So the third thing was look at the get you a coach. And when I say a coach, even when I say coach, I don't mean like somebody coaching you through, but somebody walking through life with you.
God in you. Yes. Yes.
Somebody's walking with you. When I look back over it, God gave me people. He always put people around me. You start thinking, I don't have a mom. And then he'll put a mother figure in front of me. He'll give me friends. Girl, my friends were right there when my mom died in 91. In 1992, I was introduced to Abundant Life Music Ministry because Greg Brown he was the youth director at New Hope Baptist Church, which that was the church I grew up in. And Greg had asked me, would I come to a rehearsal? Some people know that I sing, some people don't, but okay. So Greg,
I didn't know that.
yeah, see, right.
Okay.
Right. Some people know how to sing, some people don't. So Greg asked me to come to this rehearsal with Abundant Life Music Ministry.
Mhm.
That was in 1992. That was when I met Vanessa Jenkins and Mark Petway.
Okay.
They were dating.
Okay. I thought it
And
said Vanessa Jenkins. I know it's a Vanessa Petway.
Vanessa Jenkins,
Uh-huh.
Mark Petway, they were dating and they had this music ministry, Abundant Life. So I started singing with Vanessa and Mark and the rest of the crew, right? It was a group of us. All of us in our 20s, early 20s, 25, think, yeah, because Vanessa, I'm telling your age. I was about to say you were 25 when y'all got married. And happy anniversary.
Happy
So we've
anniversary.
been together a long time. We've been together a long time. So, but all of us were young, but we had a fire for God, and it helped me. It helped me to be around people who were on fire. So Kim Perry was Kim McLean.
Yes.
All of us was together. We were all, and we're still together today. But
Mhm.
it was that he
Mhm.
put people around me
Yeah.
to help me, and that was a step.
Yes.
Another step: stay in your lane. When
Yes.
you're swimming, stay in your lane. Don't look over there at somebody else's stuff because when you're looking over there, you'll think your stuff is worse than what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because not everybody is free to tell their story. So
Yes.
they posted stuff on fake book, which is
Hey, hold on. Fake book.
fake book.
I love fake book.
It's fake book.
Yeah.
Because you
You
only
don't
put
know
the
what's
best,
real and what's I know.
you only gonna put the best picture on there.
Okay.
Don't nobody
Or
post.
get AI to create the picture.
That's what I'm saying. Or baby, that'd be tripping me out when folks be talking about, oh, that's beautiful. I'm like, that's an AI image and y'all taking, but okay, whatever, right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But people are not they're not transparent. And so if you're sitting on there comparing what looks like a win, they look like they're winning. Don't do that.
Yes.
Stay in your lane and keep your focus on what God has called you to do and
Yes.
what He's promised you. All of those things, stay in your lane.
Yeah.
Recall, don't you ever forget what God has brought you through before. And that's exactly what David had to do, right? David had to say, hey, you were with me when I slayed the lion. You were with me when I slayed the bear. What is this? Who is this uncircumcised Philistine to me?
Mm-hmm.
Recall it. Don't you forget that you've been there before with a time when you thought you weren't going to make it out of it, but you made it.
That's right.
Do the same thing. Recall, be grateful. Always, God, I thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
I thank you. And then the last thing, ask God for your purpose because I promise you, out of all of this, there was a purpose in it. Keep
Mm-hmm.
swimming towards it, right? Keep swimming. And so I created the Win Anyway framework,
Mm-hmm.
and these are the principles of the Win Anyway.
Winning the way framework. And okay, I know we're about to get ready to close out, and I know that you have a download that they can download through your
Yeah.
podcast, right?
Yes.
All right, so tell them about that, and then tell them how to connect with you.
So the podcast is about stories, right, of what others have gone through and how we've come out on the other side. But it's not just to tickle ears. Like it is never the point for someone to be like, "Oh, she went through this." It's for you to know that if she went through it or he went through it, I can get through it too. And how did we get through it? Yakinea, you just did a great. It wasn't about what was your life like, right? But how? We want to transform people's life,
Yes,
not just motivate you and inspire you, but transform your life. Transformation takes intentionality.
that's right.
And so I created a life ain't fair win anyway journal and workbook. As you're listening to the episodes, I ask for everyone to jot down scriptures that I just gave or someone else just gave, a hint or a tip. What did they do? What speaks to you when that person is speaking? What jumped out at you? What are you going through? Write it down. Write your vision. What does a win look like for you? And every time I want people to know your challenge don't always have to be trauma, right? Sometimes it's financial because you just have made some bad financial decisions.
That's good.
you
Right.
know,
Yes,
You've
yes.
just made bad financial decisions. You might be dealing with your children tripping and acting up. You could be in a season of your marriage now. What is it? And take that thing to the Lord. What does He say about that situation? Healing in your body. You are dealing with a sickness. What His the word said. Now y'all get indignant about that thing because that devil will tell you all kinds of stuff, but he's a lie.
Yes, he
The
is.
word says, by the stripes of Jesus, you are healed, point blank, period. Write that down and keep saying it. But you got to write it down and write your vision. What does winning look like to you? And then it has a moment for you to pray and write your prayer. Write your prayer, write your confession, and then just talk to the Lord and ask Him to help you, ask Him to guide you, ask Him to put the right people around you. But if you haven't asked Him to be the Lord of your life, I need you to start right there. Because one thing I recognize too, what we do as Christians, we think that we're in heaven, so we're not supposed to have any challenges. That's not the case. And He is not your butler, He is your Lord. We do too much time, spend too many times, or too much time rather, telling Him where we want to go, what we want to do, what we want to have, where we want to be. I need for you to back that up and say, Lord, what is it that I need to be doing? How do I need to do it? Who do you have for me? And I will do it however you want me to do it. And that just takes surrendering. So, yeah,
Amen. And your social media?
social media handles, everybody, you can follow me at everything TJ Everhart. You can go to my website, tjeverhart.com to find out what we do on the consulting side, but you can also find the podcast. You just go right there, view the podcast to get to the YouTube channel and anywhere you listen to podcasts. So go to the website, tjeverhart.com. I would love to talk with you. You will, I'll always reach back out to you. If you say something to me, I'll say something back. And yeah, that's it. TJ Everhart, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you again so very much, TJ. I appreciate you.
Girl.
You have blessed. I knew it was gonna be fire.
Well, when you coming on? So it's your turn, huh? You gonna have to come on
I
here.
told you, you invite me, I'm coming. You just
Right.
let me know, and the answer is yes.
You have a story, baby. You have a little story. You're a fireball. You got a story that people need to know.
We all got some.
Girl, don't people you know what? And don't people be looking at you like, oh, look at you. You had it all together. You'll be like,
baby, if you only knew. If you only knew that part.
yeah.
But thank you so very much. I appreciate you, love. Thank you for joining us. Listen. Again, thank you for joining us for another episode of Arise and Build. I pray that you was tremendously blessed because although I did the interview and the dialogue, I was tremendously blessed. I even found out some things about my girl that she had to journey through that I didn't even know. And I just love that you making the decision whether you're going to swim or whether you're going to sink, baby. Make sure that you check out her podcast. Now, I want you to comment below at least one thing that you took away from this podcast, because we're going to read it and we're going to reply back to it. And just let us know how this episode bless you. If you're not already subscribed, I invite you to subscribe, to like, and to share. Thank you again for joining us on Arise and Build.